Hi, everyone. It's Tessa.
And Joe.
From the Unveiling Paradise podcast.
Tessa, summer is almost here, and so many of our listeners are about to have their epic destination wedding.
And we are so excited for you guys.
Before the big day, guys, we want you to make sure you listen to these 3 episodes.
Episode 62, Deep Diving Your Wedding Ceremony.
Episode 53, Questions Your Wedding Guests Will Ask.
And episode 31, the final countdown to your wedding day.
And if you're planning your wedding here in Hawaii, hit us up and ask us about our Unveiling Paradise podcast promo.
Happy planning. Welcome back, everybody, to the Unveiling Paradise podcast. Today, we are unpacking an actual suitcase, aka my wedding day emergency kit.
Your wedding day suitcase.
My wedding day suitcase. It is the emergency kit. It is the toolbox. It is everything you need for your wedding day packed into my little suitcase.
So I'm curious, is this proprietary? Like, are you going to be giving away all of your secrets to the world and they're going to be like, I don't know, selling it on Amazon pretty soon?
Well, here's the thing is I think you can buy a lot of these things like an emergency kit on Amazon.
Yeah, but I feel like they're kind of lame. Like they're just like
they are. They're basic. They're basic. So we are here to elevate that wedding day kit. But before we start, I have a game.
Okay, I love a game.
It's actually a test. For you, Joe. Is that cool?
All right, I'm good at tests. I'm really good at this.
Perfect. Okay. I want you to try to name 10 things that are in my wedding kit that you're looking at right now.
Okay, give me a time. How long do I have?
10 seconds.
10 seconds to do 10 things.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. I am not good under pressure.
But if you're wrong, then you have to buy me coffee for every wrong answer. Okay, ready, set, go.
Band-Aids. Tape. Boob tape.
Why are you talking so slow?
Oh man, I feel the pressure.
You have 1 second.
Oh shoot.
It's done.
I got 3.
I don't know how to stop.
That was not 10 seconds. That went really fast.
You were talking really slowly too.
Tape, boob tape. I couldn't come up with anything.
So
I felt the pressure.
You got 2, tape and boob tape.
No, and I think I said safety pins and Band-Aids.
I did not hear those.
I don't know.
So you got 2, maybe 3.
Maybe 3 out of 10. That was a lot of pressure. I bet there's more. I bet there's a lot more in your kit than what I just said. Do you have boob tape in your kit?
I do have, and I have different types of boob tape.
See?
Short
Okay.
boob tape, long boob tape.
Wow.
Different dresses require different types of tape.
Yeah, okay.
So let's talk about that.
What's weird is you already told me you have socks in there. So like,
You didn't even mention that. I also am just surprised that you were not talking with a sense of urgency. Like 10 in 10 seconds is 1 a second.
It is fast. It's faster than I thought.
Okay, I want to start with the socks.
Okay, so the socks is kind of, I would never have guessed that would be anyone's emergency kit. Those are kind of unique items. Let's talk about that. Like, what are some of like your gems, that your unique items that you have in your kit that probably to someone who doesn't do weddings all the time wouldn't even think about?
Right. And I love that. I love that you asked that question because I think there are certain things that not everyone has or that they just don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So socks is one for sure. Another one that we have, and again, we are in the middle of summer. It is hot as anything right now. We have these cooling wipes and cooling packs. So I don't know what they're intended for. I think it's when you get hurt and it's like...
Is that like what you find in like an emergency, like first aid kit where it's like you pop it and
yes.
Okay, that's it. Okay,
yeah. So you pop it and it gets really cold, which again, like, I don't know why. I think somehow I was scrolling on Amazon and they popped up in my feed. I'm like, what is this? And I think it's for athletes or something when you get hurt. And it's an ice pack instead of a heat pack. So it's cold. So we will often pop those for like the bride or the groom to kind of place around their necks.
Oh, I love that.
To keep them cool.
You know what's really interesting is you like to make fun of me all the time.
What?
And I have this super fancy, you were like, you're going to spend this much money on your first aid kit for your car, right?
I did make fun of that, yes.
I actually had a wedding in the summertime and it was like the uncle of the groom. He overheated. He had like a heat stroke or whatever. And I had that in my first aid kit. And I was like the hero of the day. I felt so good. They're like, oh my gosh, how did you know to like, you have this ice pack? So amazing. I love that. Yeah, that's great that you have that in your kit. So what else do you have?
So again, so I have the cooling packs. We also have cooling wipes. So, so in addition to the cooling packs, right, in the summer, we have these cooling wipes. So we get them from Japan. So whenever we go to Japan or someone goes, we buy these. And I don't know, they're like menthol based or something, but you don't rub them in your eyes. Don't rub them anywhere inappropriate. But
Oh, no.
they're so cool to just kind of rub on your neck, on your back, and it cools you off. When it's hot, there is nothing better than just something that's going to keep you cool.
Absolutely.
Another thing that I think is really great that is not something common with everyone are blotting sheets. And I think for you as a photographer, can appreciate that.
Well, actually, it's kind of cool because you've given me like little blotting packs that
Yeah.
I keep in my camera bag. But like especially for our groom, a lot of times they get real shiny, they get real oily. And like those little blotting sheets, right? You dab your face. It's not any makeup or anything like that, but it just instantly sucks all the oil off of your face. And you look great for photos.
Right. So it's not just for the grooms, but again, when you use it over your makeup, it's not pulling your makeup off. You're not rubbing your face with a paper towel and you've messed up your makeup. It's just you're blotting the oil off your face, which again is really nice to have.
What's really cool is that brides don't sweat on their wedding day.
That's the best part. It's magic.
All right. Those are cool, but like nothing shocking so far. What's even more unique?
Okay, so something more unique too that I have in my kit, and again, keep in mind, we are in Hawaii, so we have a lot of cultural elements. We will do, for example, the Chinese lion dance. With the lion, right, it represents good luck, it represents prosperity, wealth. You have to feed the lion money, and it comes in a red envelope. A lot of times couples will just forget the envelope, and the red envelope is a big part of the ceremony. So we have extra red envelopes in our kit that couples will often then have to scrounge up some money, put it in there, and you have to feed the lion. That's the biggest part of the ceremony is feeding the lion that envelope.
What if you just had money? Would the lion be offended? Or
The lion gets offended, yes.
Yeah.
he needs the red envelope. And fun fact, he needs cabbage.
Yeah, that's true. Do you have cabbage in your kit? I hope not.
I don't. I should.
Yeah, two better.
I will. So I think the red envelopes is probably, again, just because we're in Hawaii, it's definitely one of the more unique items that I have to make sure that my couples have what they need just in case. Another thing that I have that we've recently added was liquid IV. So again, at the end of the night when people are drinking and they just need a little hydration, they're drinking the water. A lot of times if we have liquid IV to kind of add into their drinks or add into their water, it just gives them that little extra hydration to hopefully have them not super hungover the next day.
So I feel like everybody knows what liquid IV is, but if you don't, it's just basically like electrolyte powder that you mix in with water.
Like a Gatorade.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Pedialyte.
Yeah, that's perfect. You could probably save someone's life with that too. That's amazing.
I want to say I'm a lifesaver. Just like you. Are we doctors?
Yeah, I know, right? I love it. Okay, so those are all great. I love this. I think these are like kind of unique, awesome things to have. But let's just break it down just to the basics. If you're putting together your wedding emergency kit, what are some of the staple things that you would say you use at every single wedding or regularly at weddings besides men's socks?
So I think the biggest, most obvious, and this was your whole answer to your game, was tape.
I should have gone through all the different types of tape.
You're not wrong, though. Here's the thing, Joe, is you're not wrong. We have so much tape in our kit, and that is packing tape, right? So at the end of the night when we are repacking those boxes, we have Scotch tape. So if we are taping like reserve signs to the chairs, we have painter's tape. So if we have to tape something to the wall, we have electrical tape for the ground. We have boob tape. That's obvious what we use it for. We have so much tape. It's ridiculous.
What about Gorilla or like duct tape? Do you have that? I should have said that.
Isn't
That's
that
a good one.
painter's tape?
No, painter's tape is the
blue one?
Yeah, the blue one. Gorilla tape, or
What is that?
that's like the real heavy duty. Like you can like.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
No. No venue's going to allow that. You're going to pull the paint off the wall. That's the, right. No. You cannot have that.
So for our company, we have gaffer tape in our emergency kit. So gaffer tape, basically, if we need to tape down cords, wires, any of those things, we use that. But you probably don't use that. Well, we do. We have it. We have
Some
it in
more
our-
tape.
Yeah, we have our little emergency kit too.
What's in your kit?
It's not
That's
as
for another
exciting.
day.
Not as exciting. I'll give you a quiz at the end though.
Okay.
Okay.
Extension cords, gaffer's tape. I think that's it.
Well, I'm going to put you on a timer. So you
Okay. Other than tape, things that we use at almost every single wedding that I think, again, if you Google wedding day kit, this is going to be something obvious and everybody has. Safety pins,
Yep.
constantly. It's for so many reasons. A lot of times it's a quick fix. So bustles break constantly. You know, when people start dancing and someone steps on the dress or the poor groom has stepped on your dress and the bustle breaks, a safety pin is a quick and easy fix.
I know I've said this story before, but I'm a very active photographer. I like to run around and get on the ground and roll around and do all these things. My life has literally been saved by safety pins. I had this wedding where the bride and groom are getting out of the limo and I bend down and my pants rip right at the crotch and go, and I'm like, oh my gosh, safety pins. Saved me. Very awkward wedding without safety pins for me.
And now they have stretchy pants. So I hope you roll to that.
I don't think there's any pants that are safe for me. I play real hard.
You are a very active and engaged photographer, so great for you. You know, in addition to, again, the pants, the bustle, a lot of times too, the bridesmaids, for example, they just haven't tried their dresses on in a while. So straps need to be adjusted if they've lost some weight, you know, just taking it in. So again, safety pins are a quick and easy fix for a lot of those things. Another good one that we use at every wedding are bobby pins.
Yeah,
right?
That's huge. Bobby pins, like, okay, so bobby pins, I see you guys pulling those out a lot of times with the veil and hair, right? So pinning the veil, double, triple layering the veil. If it's windy, you want to have those extra bobby pins. If you just place a veil, usually it flies out.
On windy days, I did a wedding a few years ago and the hair and makeup person put the veil in and she's like, it's secure, we're set, no problem. She's walking down the aisle and it's a gust of wind and her veil blows off.
Yeah.
It was
happens.
very cool for photos.
Was it? Or was it really weird?
I thought it was really cool. Like it just kind of blew up so magically like a ghost. But you want it in your hair, right? So again, we will always now double check, even if the hair and makeup person has done it, is it locked down? If it's windy, we are going to double pin that. A lot of times too, like we're not hair and makeup artists. We don't know how to fix hair if it falls down, so we'll pin it. If there's something out of place, we pin it. So we will bobby pin anything if we can to make it go back in place.
So I have a very unpopular opinion to share, but I see this a lot for brides' hair. They like to do these little hanging, I call them the hanging tendrils. It's basically like these little like things of hair, right, that frame their face. But what's really interesting is a lot of times halfway through the wedding, the brides are just like, I can't handle this thing. It's in my eyes. It's in my eyes for all the photos. And so being able to bobby pin that piece of hair, and so it's out of your face like that. I see that happen all the time.
You want some bobby pins?
I have a half of your kid is in mine.
I know. You can pin their hair. They get annoyed. You're like, here's a pin.
Yeah.
Take care of it. I love that. One of the things that I love most in my wedding day kit are my shout wipes.
You guys go through those like a box a wedding. I swear, like it's always somebody's makeup is on somebody, right? You need those shout wipes.
I have those on my Amazon subscribe and save. I go through so many. You know, it's makeup. A lot of times women are not used to wearing so much makeup. And there's a lot of hugging at weddings.
Right.
So there's a lot of hugging. There's makeup everywhere, deodorant everywhere. And also once people start eating, right? If the bridesmaids are trying to eat or the bride's like, I just have to have a bite of this hot dog. It's everywhere.
Wait, there's hot dogs at your wedding? I love it. I want to be a guest.
I meant like as a snack before your wedding.
Okay.
As a snack before your wedding, I'm thinking, you know, you eat a hot dog and like the mustard spills out.
Wow. I haven't been to that wedding. Okay. I have a quick question for you. So do you prefer shout wipes compared to, I see a lot of coordinators using Tide pens too. You prefer, what's your thought on Tide pens?
I'm 100% a shout wipe fan.
Okay.
I'm team shout wipe all the time. And the reason is with the Tide pen, it's a lot of dabbing and dotting with a pen, but you still need something to absorb it. So you're either bringing a napkin, you're bringing a towel. And to me, it tends to just spread the stain than actually get it out. Where shout wipe, you are cleaning it with the wipe.
The hot dog ketchup.
Okay. Do you want to hear the grossest thing we've ever had to clean up?
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So we were at a wedding and the bride had this long, beautiful train and she walked through dog poop.
Oh, I think you told me that story. That's disgusting.
And it was so smelly. And I'm like, There's no amount of shout wipe or Tide pen that's going to clean it, but we did.
Do you have a water hose? Like,
well, and her dress had this it couldn't get wet. It was so delicate. So we had to literally wipe it off and then just try to dab it with as many wipes as we can.
No, you have to hose that. I'm sorry.
No,
I'm sorry. You have to.
No. You could not hose her
Hose it.
dress. It was an expensive dress. It was silk. Like it couldn't be hosed off. And so two parts is we had to wipe it as best as we could. And then what we did is we actually took a safety pin and we kind of layered her dress a little to create a pattern to hide the stain. So thank you to safety pins. Thank you to shout wipes. It saved her wedding.
Okay, what else you got?
Okay, so the next one you may think is because of, emergency, but really it's a little more common. So Band-Aids. And let me explain why. You may be thinking first aid, someone's hurt, we need to wrap them with a Band-Aid, but most people that need Band-Aids, it's for blisters.
Mm-hmm.
They're wearing new shoes, guys and girls, whether it be heels, whether it's your suit shoes, you're not used to it, you haven't broken them in, people need Band-Aids. So we have a range of Band-Aids from blister bandages specifically to bandages for, again, their heel, their toes. For women, a lot of times, depending on your shoe, you just have to wrap certain toes because it's rubbing the wrong way. So I've had to wear shoes where the last 3 toes I've had to just bandage. It's not fun, but you look good, so it's worth it. So bandages, again, are a big one that we use almost every wedding, but almost never for first aid reasons.
That's so funny because my first aid kit is on point. I have like so many bandages and so many Band-Aids and whatever emergency kit kind of stuff you need. I think I trump you on that. I think I got way more stuff in my emergency kit than you do.
We have like the good stuff. You have like, oh, fine, you're a doctor. Good for you. But we're like, listen, you want a mint? We got you. You want liquid IV? We got you. Band-Aids for blisters? Yeah.
What about tissues? Do you guys have like...
We have so many tissues. People are crying constantly. It's a wedding, constantly crying. So we all have tissue, not just in our kit, but we carry it on our person. So we all have little bags. All of my team has tissues. It's a wedding. Be ready to cry. We got you. 2 things that are in our kit that we're constantly using/losing are lighters and scissors. We go through them so often. So again, at every wedding, right? Even though we tell people, hey, get LEDs, people are going to get real candles. So we are taking them out and lighting constantly. Lighters are a big part of, again, sometimes the caterers like, hey, I need a lighter. Again, all the candles on your table, right? So the lighters are a big part. Without it, your decor is not going to look the same. And the other one are scissors. The next one is scissors. So a lot of times your dress, you have those little threads you have to cut off or just little hanging pieces to get cut. The other thing that we use it for a lot is the guys, when you buy a new jacket, the pockets are sewn shut, the flap in the back is sewn shut, and they don't realize that they have to be cut.
I feel like the scissors and the lighter would be appropriate for the bride with poo on her dress.
Just burn it.
Cut that out and then
Just burn it.
Cut it out and burn it.
It all makes sense. I'm not disagreeing with you. It was not smelling great.
And then roll it up and throw it. Roll it back onto her back. Oh,
perfect. I love that. Okay, wait. I have one more thing that I want to say. Ziploc bags, gallon size in particular, are great for everything.
So what do you use those for typically?
Anything. So at the end of the night when we're packing up miscellaneous extra favors or their table numbers, or sometimes I just put the trash in Ziploc bags, but being able to contain things, pens, anything that you find, sometimes when people have petals and we have to pick it up, like you just need little vessels to hold things. There's nothing better. Cards, if people are giving you cards, instead of a card box and having to carry that, throw it in a Ziploc bag that you can throw in another bag. Like I love bags in bags in bags, and Ziploc bags are the dream.
It's interesting you didn't say about extra cake where you could put that in a Ziploc bag.
I don't want to offer it to anybody. I have my own container for that.
Okay, so these are your staples.
Yes.
Okay, one thing that I didn't hear you say, which I kind of was expecting you to say, is a sewing kit.
Okay, I do have a sewing kit, but honestly, and I'm going to knock on wood when I say this, is we don't have to use it that often because we can safety pin most things.
Yeah, okay.
So we do have a sewing kit, and it's funny. We had a wedding a couple months ago, and a groom, right before the ceremony, about 30 minutes before, ripped one of his belt loops. it was covered. So I was like, let's just go without it. No one's going to notice. But he was very insistent that he wanted it fixed. So right before the wedding, we go to his hotel room. And it's funny because I think sewing is a skill that not everyone has anymore. Sewing is, I think, a dying skill. So being able to sew something is kind of a big deal. So we go to the room. I'm looking at his jacket and it's on his pant loop. I can't sew it with it on. So I'm like, listen, I need you to take your pants off and give me your pants. So he's standing in the bathroom, pantsless. He like throws the pants to me and I'm just trying to sew it because it was very important to him that it was fixed before the ceremony started. So we literally got him to his room, got his pants, sewed it about 2 minutes before the wedding was about to start. And then he just walked out and walked right into the ceremony.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
But you should have called me because I actually am super talented with the needle.
Really?
Yeah. Did you know that?
I did not.
So quick story. When you're in junior high at my high school, you used to be able to take an elective class where it was like you could do home ec, which is like learning how to sew, or you could do mechanical arts, which is like fixing all these cars and stuff. And so my buddy, his name's Jared, and I were like, where are all the girls? So they were all in the sewing classes. And I'm like, so we ended up like actually learning how to like sew and use a sewing machine. And I'm actually super good at it. And the funny thing is my wife, she actually is not. And so my daughter just had this like big school project and they were trying to make something that they could sell for their like whatever marketplace thing. And she decided she wanted to make scrunchies. Guess who helped her make 100 of these things?
Thank goodness for you.
Yeah, we were hand sewing and we were, I was taught her how to use the sewing machine and everything. So yeah, it worked out good.
You're a super dad.
Yeah, but if you don't have that sewing kit, if you don't know how to sew, I think a safety pin is awesome. Also duct tape. Duct tape works.
Gaffer's tape?
Gaffer's tape. We could take care of that.
Boob tape?
No.
Anything. So other things that we have in our kit that are not uncommon, but they're not like your typical everyday, right? It's, we have zip ties. So when we're outdoors, a lot of times we have to anchor things to the tent or anchor things to a tree or anchor things, that we can't stake into something. Zip ties are perfect.
They're also perfect for tying up rowdy groomsmen. You can zip them real easy with those puppies.
Anyone, crazy uncles, whatever. We have zip ties for all of it. We have a surprising range of string and ribbon too. So a lot of times if we have to fix a boutonniere or, tie a reserve sign to a chair, or a lot of times you just need some string or ribbon. So we have, kind of raffia, we have white, we have thin, we have thick. A lot of times you just need like a little bit of ribbon to hold things together. So it looks good. So we have welcome signs, tying welcome signs together to the easel. We have a lot of those kind of miscellaneous things.
So Tessa, I don't hear you talking about something I see in a lot of like the wedding emergency kits you can find on Amazon, like aspirin, antacids, like any of those things. Do you guys have that in your kit or do you just forget to talk about it?
Yeah, so that's a good question. So we actually purposely don't include any of those items that can expire and go bad or make people sick. So it's a liability for us. So I don't have aspirin. I don't have contact solution, eyelash glue, eye drops, anything that could make your eye fall out or, make you sick. Like we just choose to avoid it. If you need us to run out and buy it for you that day, if we're near a store, we're happy to do that. But ideally we tell people if you want to have those items, then have someone bring them for you.
Okay, Tessa, now we're going to actually get into your actual kit. I just wanted to see if we hit everything. So hold on.
Yep, open it up.
Okay, I'm looking in here. Couple things that you didn't mention. The first, this is actually super huge. You've got some wedding rings in here.
We do. We have some fake wedding rings. So just in case people are forgetful, you have the rings back at their hotel and you're somewhere else, we have that. I see you digging around. We have all of our pens. You never know when you need a pen.
You have deodorant in here too.
That's my favorite.
Is that for you or for the bride?
Well, I have I have my own in my own bag, but okay. I will have little spray deodorants everywhere for people because they don't expect to be so stinky. They don't expect to be, hot, but There's hormones, there's heat. Like you just, smell good. You want to smell good. Okay, I see you looking in that side corner, and I know you're wondering what that is. It's a crochet hook.
I know what that is. I went to
sewing school. Then why are you staring at it? So weird. And what we use that for is when we have a dress with a lot of buttons. Sometimes if the elastic is really tight, it's hard to get the elastic over the buttons. So having that crochet hook helps us do it a little faster. One more thing that I forgot to mention I think I told you about this the other day, is I have on Subscribe and Save the one-use crazy glue. The one-time use crazy glue. So instead of having the big crazy glue that can go dry or whatever, it's 5. So, if you look at it, right, it's 5 little ones in the container and you use it once and you dump it. So it's always fresh. It's always liquidy. A lot of times, and I know we just talked about this, right? You have those fancy wooden names or the acrylic names, for place cards. They break all the time. They're so, so fragile. So we like to crazy glue them together when they're broken.
I see your chewing gum. You have some chewing gum, some mints in here.
I have chewing gum. I have blue mints in case you want to suck on some and have your something blue be your tongue. I have that.
I also see the socks. It's kind of gross.
They're new. It's not gross.
No underwear in here, though, surprisingly. So
one day you're going to be like, Tessa, I need to borrow those socks.
Probably. Okay, that's about it. That's about all I see. That's great.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there, but again, it's just miscellaneous things.
Yeah.
But everything that you need on your wedding day, just in case. So again, we have curling irons. There's a comb in there. We have feminine hygiene products. Like there's just literally everything you could think of is in this kit.
Okay, but kind of what we talked about before we got into the kit, right? These are the things that you recommend having. These are we'll put these in our show notes. Like
for sure.
These are like the top maybe 10, 15 things have with you if you don't have a coordinator. If you have a coordinator, make sure they have them.
What's in your kit, Joe? I know you have a first aid kit, but what else do you have?
So like you, the blotting tissues you actually gifted us to me.
You're welcome. You're welcome, brides of Joe.
I do bring safety pins. I bring my cameras.
It's not a kit.
I actually have a safety camera though. Like I have a camera that's in it's not a safety kit for me. It's more of a safety bin that I carry in my car. I have a backup camera with memory cards and like a battery charger. And just in case whatever happens, I have an extra backup camera. I think that's kind of nice to have.
That's very cool.
We use a lot of tape for our stuff. So gaffer's tape. We have actually backup audio too. And the one other thing that we have in our kit that I see in your kit as well is pomade, like for the groom. So like a lot of times, some just random hairs you got to put down, and they're just bugging you the whole photo shoot or whatever. Like that's something that I always like to have.
For sure, hair supplies are so important. So we have hairspray, pomade, gel, combs. You know what else I forgot? We also have bug spray. I think that's a big one sometimes.
Well, that was a lot of fun. I was always kind of interested to take a deep dive into what's actually in your wedding kit, guys. Again, the whole purpose of our show is to set you guys up for success. These little things can be lifesavers, so make sure you have them. Don't just leave these in your suitcase. Have all of these on hand at your wedding.
Okay, so again, guys, just remember, if you hire a professional, if you have a wedding planner that has all of these things, it's one less thing for you to worry about, not just for having to go out and buy all these items, but it's a lot of money. When you start gathering all of these little things, it adds up. So if you hire a professional, if they have all of these things, it's one more thing that you can check off your plate and focus on having your best wedding day ever. As always, guys, thanks so much for listening. We are so stoked to have you with us, and we will catch you here again soon.
Thanks for listening to another episode of Unveiling Paradise.
If you enjoy our show, please follow us and rate us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. It would really mean a lot.
And don't forget to also get on our mailing list and follow us on Instagram. Just do it already.
Until next time, this is Tessa.
And this is Joe.
And don't forget, your happily ever after
is just a plane ride away.